우리 이제 이사 가는 거야? 이제 닫을게. 1시간 뒤에 봐. 키캣 도착했어. 이제 나와도 돼. 집 구경할래?
Korean pronunciation can be a bit tricky because it's quite different from English pronunciation. This episode will cover a few important pronunciation tips on commonly mispronounced Korean sounds. The first thing I want to cover is the difference between these three sounds. In order to compare them, let's add a vowel. So now we can compare them. First of all, let's take a look at the simplest one, ka. This is a cross between a K and a G in English. It's not a hard sound like a K in the word kite, but it's also not a hard G sound like in the word good. However, if you have to pick one, I'd say it's a bit closer to a G than a K. If you say a soft G, your pronunciation will be accurate. Ka. This next one is actually the same sound as the first, but it's said in a different way. If before saying ka, you take a quick pause, stopping your mouth from moving, it'll come out as this double version, ga. Instead of saying ka, take a quick pause beforehand, ga. It might help to compare what this sounds like when it's in the middle of a word. Take the above two sounds, aga and aga. Notice how the first one, aga, is simply said straightforward. The second one, however, is and then there's a quick pause, aga. You can hear that right after the is said, that there's a small pause. It's as if the speaker is taking a breath between the two sounds. This is what I'm talking about. Aga sounds different from aga simply because of the pause between the two letters. This pause is what naturally gives the ga its distinct sound. The final one, ka, is equivalent to a hard K sound in English. It should be pretty straightforward to make. Although these sounds may seem similar to an English speaker and might not seem that important, to a Korean they're extremely important, and using the wrong one will be like saying a completely different word. Let's take a look at an example. Gi means energy, gi means a meal, and ki means height. Switching these up can easily lead to a misunderstanding, so remember to practice how these three sounds differ and to make sure that they sound unique from each other. And here's another tip for practicing. Try saying ka, ga, and ka on your own and hold up a piece of paper in front of your mouth. When saying ka, the piece of paper should move a little bit. When saying ga though, the paper shouldn't move noticeably at all. However, when saying ka, the paper should shake visibly. If you're trying to say one or the other and you're wondering if you're saying it correctly, you can check yourself with a piece of paper and this method. All other letters as well, with double and stronger versions of themselves, work the same way as these ones. Once you're comfortable with ka, ga, and ka, you'll be comfortable with the others. Another few commonly confused sounds are these, o, and The first one, o, sounds similar to the sound at the beginning of the word annoying, aw. The second one, o, sounds just like the letter O in English. You can also think of it like the O sound in the word oak, o. And the third one, sounds like the sound in the word good. It might also remind you of the sound of being punched in the stomach, This sound is another one that's often misunderstood. You can think of it as being close to an English L but not an R. Some lessons might say that this is an R at the beginning of a word and an L at the end of a word, but this is actually incorrect. The letter's sound does not actually change, so that's good news for us though. In order to make this sound, place your tongue on the top of your mouth as if you're going to say the letter D. Practice by preparing to say da, but instead moving your tongue to say la. And there you go. Da. Da. The biggest difference between these two is honestly just the spelling. They can both be pronounced the same, as e. If you want to know the actual difference, A is said with the lips slightly wider, but actually most Koreans don't even know the difference between the two, and you won't hear a difference either. So feel free to pronounce both of these the same way. Oh, that's all for today. You can also learn more about what we've gone over today in the PDF version of this lesson, which is available on my website here. And as always, I recommend that you watch this video again and then practice by making your own sentences using what we've learned. And new videos are posted every week, so click subscribe and follow along. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.
키캣 안 와. 벌써 적응했나 보네.